However one interprets the sechvi, be it a rooster or a heart / mind of an individual that distinguishes between day and night, we now move on into a series of brachot. In the Nusach Ashkenaz tradition, we have a set of 3 brachot, Shelo Asani Goy, Shelo Asani Aved, Shelo Asani Isha, while in the Nusach Ari / Sepharad tradition, we have a set of 5 brachot, in which the focus is upon the individual reciting those brachot. This would be the first of the more glaring differences between the Nusach Ashkenaz and Nusach Sepharad, not in their content, but rather in their sequence. The sequence of the Nusach Ari / Sepharad follows the sequence of the source of these brachot recorded in Masechet Brachot Daf Samach Amud Bet. These brachot, including the bracha of the Sechvi, were originally said at home that accompanied the various stages of waking and rising. As we noted in the previous panel, many of the Rishonim felt that it was more appropriate that these brachot should not be left to the individual, but rather be said as part of the tefillah in the Bet Knesset, and as such they are recited out loud by the Shaliach Tzibur, the Chazan. But as Rabbi Jonathan Sachs notes, each individual should say them quietly as well. While on this topic, according to the Nusach Ha'ari, all of the Birchat HaShachar are said privately, either at home or at the Bet Knesset, up unto and including the Braita of Rabbi Yishmael that lists the 13 midot shehatorah nidreshet bahem. In terms of translation, I shall follow the Nusach Ha'ari sequence, although the translations would be equally applicable for those following the Minhag Ashkenaz. As with all of the Birchat HaShachar, each of the brachot open with a Baruch Atah Adoshem Elokeinu Melech HaOlam, followed by a verb and an object upon which the verb acts. First off, we have the phrase Pokeach Ivrim, Pei Kuf Chet. A Pikeach is somebody who is clever. A Mefakeach is somebody who supervises, to watches over. The most appropriate translation for this bracha is one who opens, used in connection to eyes or ears. A shorish that is very much aligned to a Pei Taf Chet, which is the default shorish for the process of opening. The bracha is an acknowledgement that God opens the eyes of the Ivrim, one who is blind. In bracha number 4, we have the acknowledgement that God is Matir Asurim, Matir with a Nun Taf Resh Shoresh, to unfasten or to loosen. It also points to the process of releasing or setting someone or something free, hence the word Mutar, that describes something that is permissible. We then have a bracha Zokef Kufufim, Zayin Kuf Pei, to make erect, to raise up those who are Kufufim. We acknowledge HaKadosh Baruch Hu that he is a Malbish Arumim, Malbish Lamed Bet Shin, to clothe. God clothes the Arumim. And bracha number 6, with a slight change in phraseology, Hanotein Leyayef Koach, Nun Taf Nun, to give or to grant, Koach to the Ya'ef. As noted on a number of occasions, the brachot of Birchat HaShachar are drawn from the statement recorded in Talmud Bavli Brachot, Daf Samach Amud Bet, which in an earlier age were recited by the individual as he or she adapted oneself to day-to-day living from one's sleep, so that when one opened one's eyes, one recited the bracha of Pokeach Ivrim. As one dressed, one recited the bracha of Malbish Arumim. There was a bracha where one slipped their feet into what then was known as shoes, and so on and so forth. In the changeover during the period of the Rishonim, these brachot became formalized as part of the Birchat HaShachar, to be recited in the Bet Knesset or as a preparation for Tefillah. This process of adapting to different set of circumstances, as we shall see, is not necessarily a perfect fit. There are going to be jagged edges. There was a desire, it seems, to retain the order of the brachot as listed in the Talmud Bavli and deal with the jaggedness as best we can. The jagged edges will come to the fore as we deconstruct each of the remaining Birchot HaShachar.